It's going to take, 24, 36 months. That may mean the bottom doesn't happen for another 18 months.
Hello guys, welcome back to Christian Finance for your almost daily financial content. And today we're going to be going over Chamath Palihapitiya's, I hope I said it right, trust me, it's a difficult name to pronounce, but I'm sure most of you guys know who I'm talking about. He has earned major accolades in the investment space in the last few years. And what he's saying, as you guys will see in a little bit, I truly agree with. If you've been following the channel, you will know I was predicting a further drop. And yes, even though Bitcoin hit 25k for a little bit and the Dow went up to 34k, we're now experiencing massive drop from the last week or so.
And if you fast forward to 2022, so 14 years later, governments around the world had printed something to the tune of about 35 odd trillion dollars of money into the economy that should have never been there. So the thing to remember is we have not necessarily just been obfuscating true supply demand in the last 6 or 8 months when we've been talking about a recession or inflation. We've been actually doing it since 2008.
What he says here is very true. The real printing, if you guys look into it, didn't begin 2020 when the pandemic started. It actually began during the 2008 housing market crash. It's just that back then we were going slowly up in the printing, and now there was a real exponential one in the last 2 years. But these effects that we're feeling right now on the inflation realistically started 14 years ago, not 2 years ago. Just before I continue, guys, I want to ask you to please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Also hit the notification bell, so this way you guys get notified every time I upload the regular content. Once again, only thing I ask, guys, subscribe to the channel.
So it seems like we're at the beginning of something that's going to be long and drawn out. Now that's separate from whether we're in a recession or not. That's just the bear market that we're in. It was continuing until last month, and countries Europe are still doing it. 9% inflation in Europe, and they're still buying bonds.
Right.
And yeah, guys, what he says about Europe is very true. Bad as the recession and inflation have been in the US, if we take a look at the euro and what's been going on over there, it's actually much worse. So currently 1 euro is equivalent to $1. But back just a year ago, a euro was equivalent to 120 USD, right? So yeah, as bad as it's been in the US and Canada, other parts of the world are being hit much, much worse. In Greece and Turkey, the inflation realistically is 70 to 80%, which really is scary stuff.
So for all the people that were, fingers crossed, hoping that this would be the end of it, Fed raises 75, we're done with this, they're going to raise 75 more. I just think that's not how it's probably going to be. It's going to take, 24, 36 months. That may mean the bottom doesn't happen for another 18 months.
And yeah, this is another important point. So basically what he's saying is that we might not see the end of the recession and bear market for another 2 to 3 years. And he's saying it's going to take, according to his calculations and his research, another year and a half before we find the true bottom, right? So we could be seeing an under 10k Bitcoin. We could be seeing a 20k Dow Jones. It could get much, much worse. And again, the macroeconomic factors are currently, again, still very bad. Inflation, interest rates, obviously the war still happening, tensions in China, economic impacts there. Obviously, we still have the pandemic going on. And obviously the supply shortages and the supply surpluses that we have in different areas or different sectors is also a problem. And you guys know I actually like to reference Michael Burry quite a lot. And then right over here we have him saying, adjusted for inflation 2022 first half, S&P 500 down 26%, Nasdaq down 34%, Bitcoin down 65%. That was just multiple compression. Next up, earnings compression. So maybe halfway there. And yeah, I mean, if what Michael says is to be true, and we're about halfway there through the crash, then I think Chamath's theory could be very correct. And unfortunately, we may be heading down much lower than what initially a lot of people might have been anticipating. And this is a point I reference quite a bit, but I think there's a reason for that. And we have to keep in mind the end of 2021, beginning of 2022, we had the two richest people in the world, Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk, sell a lot of their respective shares from their companies, right? Tesla and Amazon. When you have these multi-billionaires completely selling off a lot of their shares, you know we're headed towards turbulent waters. The good news, however, what goes down must go up. Well, no, but let's just roll with that. So this is the time for you guys to start doing your research, right? Super important. Make sure you have your emergency fund and start thinking about investing into the high conviction plays that you've researched. And when everything is down, this is the time to actually formulate a good dollar cost average strategy into the markets. And with that, guys, let me know what you think down below. Do you agree with Chamath's theory that it will be another 18 months before we hit the bottom? Michael Burry's analysis that we're just halfway into the crash? I'd love to hear your guys' perspective down below. Please subscribe to the channel. Let me know other similar content you'd like me to do next. And as always, guys, stay diversified.